So yeah, just a thank you message to everyone who sent myself and my family, and particularly kind of myself, but also to the family, because most of the message have been to myself because it's been my Facebook page where I shared the message about my mum passing on into the beautiful spirit world. I heard from the medium she's like under a rainbow, and other people said like she's like she's an angel now, or she's surrounded by angels, surrounded by love light. But yeah, it's been obviously a very challenging and tough and intense last many weeks with everything that's been going on. But I just wanted to say thanks, because so many of the messages have been extremely like sort of just very warming and like heart touching and just beautiful, like just so like sweet and sincere, so like well meant and supportive. So many beautiful messages. I've just been like reading them in various order, like here and there, because I'm super busy, like, you know, having children and, you know, my partner as well, and, you know, I have a baby, so my gorgeous being baby and children, just being a conscious parent and a conscious daddy, being protective, loving and nurturing. So I obviously super busy, but when I get a chance, I obviously, when I have some more spare time, I can sort of do a little bit more sort of mental and emotional processing and grieving. But at the same time, I feel I'm just sort of like grieving and feeling I'm letting the energy flow like all day long. You know, I'm not really like numbing my emotions too much at all. In fact, I was overeating like for a little bit. Like porridge is one of my biggest overeaters for the last week or so. It sounds funny because some people think that's like really healthy food, and it is in some ways, but not when you're overeating it, or just overeating in general. So, but in the last like 2 days and today, I've just been having raw food, salad, nuts and dates predominantly, with a little bit of fruit. But yeah, like the whole, like, I don't know, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone, for your beautiful messages again. Like, it's meant so much to me, and my partner has read so many of them too. We appreciate you all so very much. I didn't expect any of that at all, to be honest. Like, I didn't expect that at all when I made the post about like my mum. I love my mum forever and always, so much, deeply, such a special connection with her, so many thoughts and memories. But I also feel like my mum and anyone else in spirit, like, they're in a really good place now. Like, they're joyful and free, and so many people have a lot of like burden and stress and, you know, sadness and upset and just heaviness and just various earthly things, like matters on their mind and in weighing on their heart when they're alive in the physical body. But like I said to my mum in the last few days, and like the angels and some of the angel cards and various places we've been receiving messages and synchronicities from, the spirit world is our home. It's much more like our home. And I said to my mum in the last few days too, like, Mum, like, you're going home, you know. And she's still hearing. Oh, there's a bit of a tight turn, but made it. Yeah, Earth, the human body is more like our adventure, you know, and the human body, temporary adventure, and Earth, or the spiritual world, the spirit world is our home. So like, like I said in my post, like, I'm in two mind frames, and I'm lightening up every day, but I'm not rushing to process. I'm fully feeling my feelings, like in the first few days after her transition into the spirit world, which I celebrate. And obviously, like, part of me sad, obviously, definitely from a self-orientated perspective, you know, the what ifs, buts, if only this, or what if that had to happen, like trying to save her life, so to speak. But I feel she truly left when her spirit, when her true self wanted to go, and it was meant to be. And sometimes it's hard for our physical self to let go of that, and sometimes we can have guilt or regret or anger, and I've experienced just a little bit of that, pretty fleeting and passing, but still I did a little bit. You know, it's related to the whole like what ifs, buts, if only, or if I had done this differently, or if this had happened differently, or if that didn't happen, or if this thing, this person, or me, or if I had done things differently, or all sorts of stuff, you know. But I have to say, because of all my spiritual, like my inner work in the last 15 years, I've been fully conscious and aware of my mind. So I'm not like accidentally or unconsciously dwelling and mulling and keep recycling and reliving over things in my mind. that I'm not like deliberately sort of choosing and sifting or going through or allowing to be, you know. If something sort of happens a bit more automatically, and that happens sometimes, I'm aware of it, and I know how it makes me feel, and I can weigh it up very instantaneously if it's like good or bad, positive or negative, to be thinking down this line. And I just feel my emotions. I feel obviously plenty of like emotions coming up, and sadness, and feeling pretty heavy, a bit sluggish, down, tired the first few days. Yeah, not really fully there myself, like slight mental mix-ups, not really putting my sentences perfectly together in the first few days after her special transition. Like I fully honor her transition. It's not about me, it's predominantly about her and me supporting her and loving her life and celebrating her life. Like, it's not about me predominantly feeling sad for myself, to be honest, even though obviously in the first few days especially is a lot of that, quite a substantial amount of that going on. Because obviously I didn't want my mum to pass on from a physical perspective. Like, I wanted more time with her, and I kind of wish I had spent more time with her to a certain degree, you know. But we do our best, and we can't erase the past, and I had a tremendous, gigantic blessing of spending a lot of time with her in the last, like, many weeks, and even many, like, last 15, 20, 30, 39 years of my life, to be honest, since I was born. So even as an adult and a teen, I spent like so many times living with her back and forth. Like I said in my post, like on Facebook there, like in between, before and after various girlfriends who I would go and visit in different countries. And that's, so we all have a different soul path, and I don't know, I just want to like feel like glad for my mom. I love her so much. I'm with her. I know she's with me. She said she's so proud of me and proud of me. I'm proud of her, and it's weird, you know. I'm not sure how much I'm maybe possibly in shock, or how much I'm just sort of kind of so busy and not really having the fullest chance to like miss her or mourn her. But I really do feel like I'm very consciously every day, every hour, like allowing and feeling the emotions and the feelings and the energy to flow through me and to be felt. I'm not like suppressing or denying them, or I'm not judging the emotions. I'm not even judging the situation to be like bad, wrong, or like negative. If anything, I feel like it's perfect, good, and very positive, especially for mum. Like, her soul, like, I believe, chooses this, and I've heard this from other channels like Bashar too. We choose when we go, and even before coming to Earth, as a spirit, I've heard, read, and I kind of tend to the belief, you know, not 100%, 10 billion% wholeheartedly, like I believe it, like utter concrete, but I tend very much so to the belief, like, we have a blueprint, a set plan, and I kind of really do believe this for the most part, really, that before coming to Earth, and we have many soul contracts. Some people are going to like hurt or perpetrate against us, and that's for our growth and our expansion, for the experience. And others are like sweet, happy, positive, like, people and experiences, you know. Yeah, there's so much I could say. I could talk forever, but I don't think I will right now, because that's just not the time. I'm very intuitive and feeling based. I go with my heart and my intuition, and I deliberately waited to make the Facebook posts to tell people when my mum's passing, until the exact perfect time. That felt totally right, and when I did, just within a minute of finishing that post, my family came back from some shopping, so it was absolutely perfect timing. And then I also realized, and I didn't include this in my Facebook post, but it happened to be also the 17th, that date, which was I think yesterday. So that was a synchronistic in terms of like 17, you know, which I didn't talk about a bunch of number synchronicities, special 17s about my mum. Like, she's just beautiful mum. I don't need to prove or say anything to anyone, like any of you or anyone else in the world, because deep down and into infinity and beyond, everywhere, pure expansiveness, my mum and me know how much we loved each other and what we meant for each other, you know. And it's definitely, from a physical perspective, sad to think you're not going to be with somebody again, but you also got to like celebrate them. You're moving on to a better place, a freer and purer place, a more pure, blissful, ecstatic place of divine, colourful light, love, laughter, and freedom, and utter gorgeousness and amazing place of creativity, learning and expansion too in the spirit world. So I know my mum's around. I've seen so many synchronicities galore, off the charts. And life will change, and I know there's a lot of change in for me, as the medium also said. So yeah, it was a very, very sort of special and synchronistic last few weeks, and even last day or two and hour of her passing. I synchronistically happened to have a mediumship reading at 2 p.m. that day, but I happened to be just visiting her at 40 minutes to 2, so 1:20. So after seeing my mum for 40 minutes on the bed, then I had a mediumship call, which I decided to keep. And like I said, maybe I didn't say fully 100% clearly, but she was more in spirit, but she was still there in the physical body, and her time was short. And then within 15 to 20 minutes of my sister's two daughters, of visiting my mum, and she left her body fully and went on into spirit. She passed on then. She vacated her piece of clothing, and I love her so much, and all the family do. And it's hard for everybody, I know it's weird, maybe possibly I'm fairly composed. Here's some little lavender wreath we got for her today. So fresh and beautiful. We're also at the sea today. This is for her. We're at the sea where we were last with her at the sea where she swam or mermaided on the beach on the waves with our children and my partner and me. She's an ocean lover. I could talk so much about her, but I kind of won't right now. I'm just going to go with the flow intuitively now. So the passing was so special. She just could have gone on. She could have passed in the middle of the night. She could have passed the day before that, the week before. But she actually waited and waited and waited, and she wasn't in much to any physical, mental, emotional pain, particularly at all, especially mentally, emotionally. But even physically, she was just in some discomfort. She had a very, very sort of pleasant releasing gradually of her body, but she stuck on there waiting for my sister. I'm so proud of her. She's just such a trooper, a powerful, strong woman, and strong lady, a warrioress. She stood up for what was right, but she's hung in there deliberately for my sister to come, because my sister hadn't seen her in quite a while, a good few months, not in the last few weeks either, so she never really had a proper chance to sort of connect with my mum on the physical to physical, person to person, body to body, next to each other basis, and never had a chance to even say goodbye or give her love and appreciation and affection to my mum. But she did, because my mum waited, and within 15 to 20 minutes she left fully. It just goes to show, my friends, even if you think someone is asleep or unconscious or not fully there, or they're passing on, they're there with you. I could see her even the second last day, which is the most emotional day for me, when I fully realized she's not going to pick up and stay alive, because I had hopes before that. The second last day before her passing, that was the most emotional day for me, and I said my goodbye, and it was so emotional, 50 minutes. But I have her ring and her watch. Usually I never wear jewelry. And as loving and sentimental as that is, it's heart to heart and energy to energy that makes a connection there. It's not you don't need a magic wand, but it's beautiful to have these though, because her energy and her part of her even genetics are there, and obviously have other things too. But yeah, life is an interesting thing, life is an interesting thing. Emily says, I love your little hat, cutie rascal. Yeah, it's for mum's, her lavender wreath. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have been able to be so light in previous days, especially the first 3 days after her passing, or the first 2 days or 2.5, 3 days. Yeah, this is the 5th day after, so the first 3 days definitely not. Yesterday would have been more challenging, but yeah. We'll see how hard and when it hits me, or if it will hit me harder, or if I am just processing it this way. But I feel I have a deeply spiritual perspective, and I have compassion, love, and honor to my own physical perspective of missing the physical her also. But I know she's not the physical. I know she's around me, and I've been told by the medium, and I already know also from my partner and angel cards or that type of stuff, she'll help me more, and all of our family more on the other side than she can on the physical. And when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. So I feel it's, like I said, our choice, the spiritual choice, not the physical person's like conscious knowing or choice necessarily. But yeah, what to say really? What else? I'm not thinking of anything. I'm just like letting it come. So yeah, the little rascal wearing her wreath, lavender. I think just love lavender so much. Something like lavender anyway. So beautiful. But many people loved my mum on social media. I shared so much throughout the years. Many people said they loved our connections, clearly saw the love between us and how much I adored and had affection for her and vice versa. And it was so heartwarming to receive these messages, even from people who I didn't even really knew that or felt this way, and people who haven't heard from in a long time. I can't believe it. Like, there's something like 200 comments. Cheapers, I didn't expect that at all. So the outpouring of love has been like very, very supportive and moving and touching and heartwarming, to be honest. So many beautiful messages. It's like hard to describe, and I can't reply to all of them, and I just haven't been in the space to reply to almost any of them, to be honest. So I guess just treasure your parents, treasure your mom, treasure your dad, and treasure everyone who's close to you, and give to them. I know like we can miss them because they give to us, and it's like our loss type of feeling, like, oh, I'm going to lose them and they're so nice to me. But I also want us to consider not only our loss but their joy and journey going forward positively, and not only receiving from them but to give from them when they're still in the physical too. Like, make the effort, reach out. And I'm talking to myself here too. Like, I kind of almost had a little bit of sadness, like wishing, guilt, wishing I had reached out to her more, spent more time with her, or called her more. Various little knickknacks, but yeah, I know that's not really the truest truth, but it's something to consider for going forward also. People have left me, like Mabel, I can see your picture there, and Ashwarya, and like a bunch of people, like Emily, so many people, Julie, Ulf, Mary, just so many, literally so many. I cannot name these all, but a lot of these people I know more personally and for having a relationship with them. I can see Miss Hammond as well. So many people have like just left me supportive, caring messages, you know. Yeah, it's funny because like just as the year of my daughter came in, like, and I'm now like a daddy, like my mum left, and yeah, I won't talk too much about kind of my family. A lot, some of it's like kind of private, but it's not really, because I already made it in the post. Like my other daughter was due on the 1st of July, 1st to the 7th, 2017. Mum passed on when she was 71. She always said she passed on when she was around 88, which happens to me 17 years younger, or 17 years older than 71, which is when she passed on. I was born on the 7th of the 1st. There's so many, but it's not just sort of related to me or my daughter. She passed on my other two children's birthday, the 13th to the 10th, which is their birthdays, the 13th and the 10th. So she passed on the 13th of October. She also passed on the third day, Wednesday, and she passed on the third hour of the afternoon. It was 3, and it's 3:24, and 24 is her birthday number, and also the house number she lives in. So yeah, so many. I saw like around like 7 ones in a row. One of the days recently, I saw billions of 17s, 13s, and especially. But I suppose I better go. I don't know. I could. Part of me wants to talk longer, and part of me just has to do other things, and I don't know what else to say really. Yeah, it's just such an unusual and strange time, kind of. And part of me hopes it doesn't like hit me too hard, like as if I'm in shock, because my partner thinks I might be in shock. But yeah, I don't know. Am I just processing it like very positive, very good, or am I just sort of in shock? I don't really know, but I want to be there for my family. I don't want to be like too down for too long, because I remember when me and my ex-partner broke up, and when she was pregnant 4 months in that, and I came home to Ireland, I was a little bit in shock, even though I was very, very upset and emotional. But I wasn't sort of shock, if shock is even the right word. Probably wasn't shock, yeah. But when I came home from Canada that time, like, it hit me, and for around 2 to 2.5 months I had a massive like emotional release, from childhood, my biggest childhood trauma, which was feeling deeply very sad, lonely, insecure and vulnerable, like naked, raw and like susceptible to being like smashed by the outside world. Like I felt these like super sad, lonely and vulnerable, naked and afraid feelings and anxiety for so many years when I was small, up to the age of like 19 or so, or 18, even 22. And I started my awakening age 24. So when that happened, event 2017, wow, I was like so like sort of feeling those emotions from childhood for up to 2.5 months, and nothing I could do could change it. You know, it was just everywhere I went, I was feeling these feelings. Even when I went to my usual like happy places with my mum or other people, like my mum was such a huge colossal support back then, always has been, like always has been. She did things with me and she soothed me and comforted me and she was there for me, and I was living with her. But yeah, wow, that was like such an intense like emotional like upheaval of my childhood, which was like, whoa, so intense for so long, and like I just couldn't really do anything about it. And I knew there isn't really anything you can do, because you can either numb it or you can try and suppress or distract yourself, but none of that really works for the healing. So I just gotta like wait for it to go. And one day, and the magical number, the 13th or the 12th of, I think, in May or something like that, from March, April, May, I had like a 90% reduction of those emotions just overnight, 90 to 95. And then the next day it was down to like 5-10%. So it may have even fully dissipated then, I can't quite remember, but there's a 90 to 95% reduction just simply overnight. So you just got to let the course of the feelings flow, and that's all you can do with grieving. Any upset, any general triggers, obviously help yourself with your mind, be a conscious thinker as much as possible. Try and think in the direction of like spiritual thoughts or higher self thoughts, or you know, that type of stuff, alignment. But you can't like pull away the emotions that are there within you. You can't hide or fake it, you know. And it's best to try and like manage your coping mechanisms to be honoring and as true to yourself for what you need, but kind of not as least destructive or as least like harmful to yourself also or others as possible. Because some people obviously fly off the rails and like get into holes of trouble when they break up with a girlfriend or boyfriend, or possibly if their mum or somebody they love passes on. Like, you know, it can lead on to lots of other pain, hurt, suffering, or even death. So yeah, I'm not trying to be a big teacher. Like, I'm just trying to help anyone. Like, I'm only another soul anyway, so I'm just the same as you, and my physical life is the same as yours. We're just like temporary. We're equal, both physically and spiritually. So yeah, just passing on a tiny little bit of things that I may have learned in my life, you know, so just for the goodness and well-being of yourself, you know, anyone watching. So yeah, hello again, sending so much love, darling. Thanks Emily. Yeah, I love your little cutie hat rascal. Julie says sending you so much love. Emily gives a bombardment of big red hearts. Julie says we all love you. Thank you. Thanks, Julie. Aidan says hugs, you're doing great. Thanks, Aidan, for the support. All of you, thank you all. Yeah, so yeah, I think, I don't know if any of you ever watching have ever lost anyone, but I've never lost anyone like close like my mum. You know, I lost my my stepdad. I didn't know any of my family, like grandparents or aunties or uncles, just to let you know. And I'd no real particular, didn't really know my cousins or nephews or nieces growing up either, really. Just a tiny little bit of niece, but almost never, almost literally never, almost. So the only people I had was my immediate family. So my dad and my stepdad, they passed on. I wasn't really close to them and didn't really have much effect on me at all, really. With maximum respect and honor to them, I just didn't have that relationship with them. That's just simply the way life made it out to be. My two cats, who were like my babies, they passed on when I was younger, and I cry for them if I thought about them years later, like 10-15 years later. They're my two little sweet babies, like Fluffy and Snowy. They brought so much joy to me, and I had so much time with them. But I'm really glad and respect and love and appreciate my dad and my stepdad, because they gave me things, they helped me, they supported me sometimes, at least when they were there, and to a limited amount in my life, very limited. But I recognize and respect and appreciate and honor what they did do and contribute, and how they helped, what they were able to do, and the relationship we did have, even if it was minuscule and like nothing really compared to me and my mum. I always sort of half dreaded this day when my mum would pass on, But I just want to say my dad and my stepdad did sacrifice for me too. You know, like I thank you for them. Like I know they were in spirit. They were there in the mediumship reading in the last hour of my mum's physical life, as others were. So like I'm thankful for them. You know. To be honest, I'm either in shock and it's going to hit me way harder, or I'm really, really surprised, like at just how much I'm not feeling absolutely devastated by my mum's passing. Like I thought it could shatter me almost, like not literally, truly, because I know how strong I am, and I thank my mum for bringing me so close, and my spirit guide, my spirit family. But no one's brought me to where I am more in my life right now, and I love who I am, I appreciate who I am, and I thank everyone and everything, all the angels, spirits, and the physical people in life, in physical earth, who've helped me to come to where I am now. I thank them. They've all helped me. I'm nobody, I'm nothing almost without everyone who loves me or around me. So I pay on the assigned due appreciation and thankfulness, and you know. But yeah, I always sort of dreaded, or I used to say I've never really lost anyone like my mum, and like my partner, like, you know, she lost deeply, devastating loss. She's been through so much, she really has. She's helped me during this time, as has, I felt the love of my mum twice after she passed on too. But so my mum helped me, but my partner has helped me, and my family have helped me, and just you guys, anyone who's left their love for me has helped me, and of course my spirit family. But yeah, in the physical world, probably, you know, the most I'm close to and with is obviously my partner and my family and my children, baby. So they've all helped me so much. Yeah, I wasn't this composed yesterday. I wouldn't have been able to probably hold in tears, and I don't really mind that, like crying, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, who cares about crying too much, but I didn't want to be like sobbing, crying heap either, and not being able to communicate effectively. So Janet Dewan says, hi on, just coming in now, much love. Mabel, thanks Janet. Happy to hear your message. Mabel, lots of love for all of you. I'm happy to see you today because I know you are going through. I have just got out of the dentist. Cool, Mabel. Thanks. You're just been beautiful to me also, so much, and to my mum. So yeah, I suppose the final thing I was going to say, which I almost touched upon, like no one will really know until they've lost someone deeply close or special or important to them, you know. And I feel life happens in divine perfection, and we all have a mission or a plan or a purpose for our soul, and we don't know that as a human, and it's divinely orchestrated in so many ways. So I better go. I'll put on my socks and shoes, because I hardly ever wear socks and shoes, even in Ireland, even in the winterishy time. I just drive and walk around and do stuff barefoot, even run barefoot. But yeah, life's a trip. What do you all think? Evelina, yeah, you made a nice thing. I saw your comments, and I liked that you said like watching in the eyes, because you used to work in the Happy Pair, and we actually almost went there today. Actually, we're in Greystones at the beach, and the children's like the playground, the big huge playground for the children. She said seeing in person like the love and closeness of me and my mum was very, very obvious, very self-evident. I know, yeah, I was pretty heartbroken the first few days, and it's just, I think I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I could be just like processing very, very efficiently. You know, I've done so much emotional processing in life consciously since I woke up. I've gone through some pretty big, some hardcore challenges and some hardcore losses as well since I woke up, and in the more recent years of my life. After waking up, because I've started to wake up 15 years ago, so in the last 3 or 4 years I've done some pretty serious, deep, hardcore growing and learning. But otherwise, maybe, who knows, I'll go deeper into sorrow, sadness, heaviness, and in the next while, if it happens to take time to catch up on me, who knows. Either way, I don't mind, and whatever is, and I accept the truth of the matter. I feel I'm blessed as a human to not be in a place where I'm trying to be something that I'm not. Like, I'm not trying to be more or less than I am. Like, I accept if I'm if I'm in shock. I accept that if I'm processing fast, and I'm like kind of like handling it really kind of like I don't really know what to say, like kind of good or positively or something like that. Not that I'm trying to suppress anything by being positive, nothing along those lines, but I don't really know what to say, really. Like, you know, either way, whatever way is, and we'll all find out, and I'm okay with whatever is. I just don't want to be too like sad down and depressed for my family, because I have to function as a parent. But whatever is, if that's the way it is, it's okay with me. You know yourself, like I bet you know, like sometimes things hit you, you have an unexpected change or loss, and you know, you have to process it. It's all about like our abilities to process and let go of what holds us back or holds us down. But we have to honor our physical and human aspect and feelings and thoughts and emotions and the body. You have to honor it all. It's not about suppressing or denying or pretending or hiding or like being in their ego, like trying to be the big, cool, awesome person who's either like fit, the best, the fittest, the best looking, the strongest, the most muscular, or the most spiritual, or the most evolved, or the most enlightened. Like this physical and worldly ego, and this sort of spiritually type of like ego-y type of stuff sneaking in too, you know. So I just find the most simple, for me, the most powerful and highest way, sort of, so to speak, if highest is even the proper word, and I'm not trying to sneak in the back door of my ego here either, but I feel like one of the most powerful way is, and I from my own experience, but I heard it from books many years ago, I'm just putting on my shoes, is like sort of like the simpleton, the Forrest Gumpy, like the simpleton, the unassuming sort of simple person who doesn't know everything. They don't even maybe know they don't know everything, or they don't even think about it to know everything. They're not trying to be big, they're not trying to be small, they're more childlike and unassuming. They're not trying to be grandiose, their ego's small. And I think children and certain people, like let's say Asperger's or possibly ADHD, or like, you know, special needs people, or definitely the children and the animals and nature, there's nothing like no big ego. It's not fake or false, it's just like the truth, and you just get over it and you honor what is. And but there's also way less like ego mental activity, or like sort of mental activity as well, and because usually when the mental activity, especially associated with like unconsciousness or ego as well, that's the mental activity that's full of very like a trillion judgments of like something or ourselves or somebody else is like bad, wrong, and shouldn't be. And it's just a big like inner denial and mental resistance against reality and what was, and it really holds us back and holds us down, and it prevents us from having the best life going forward. And our passed on loved ones in spirit don't want us to have a crappy life going forward. They want us to be free and elevated and happy like them. They want us to prosper. And another thing, I heard this message like this year earlier on, and this year's flew by, you know, to be honest, which for obvious reasons, as I mentioned earlier in the video. But I heard earlier, like from the Arcturians and Daniel Scranton, that we don't have to necessarily wait. We can, or we don't have. We can't, or we don't have to, or we could if we want. We could wait till we pass on and leave the spirit, which Ram Dass says, like when you take off a really tight shoe, it's like the freedom. That's like passing on, because Ram Dass passed on a few years ago as well. I think, I know, I'm not sure exactly when he passed on. But we don't have, like Daniel says, we don't have to wait. We can do so much inner work in this lifetime in the physical body. 17% better now, like my mum, like me, like so many. We can do it in this lifetime where we become freer, and we become more elevated and free and loose and relaxed and like light and like, you know, spiritual, like more light. We don't have to wait till we shed our body to feel the expansiveness, and it's something I'm working on. But you can't force it. You can't speak like, 1700. Oh, 7 watches. Oh, lovely, 1700 woohoo! And one Facebook messenger from Ashwarya. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to like let go and lighten the load and let go of what bogs me down and holds me back while I'm still alive. And maybe that's why I'm like feeling like not like shattered. But each soul and each person has their own mission, you know. Like I've been shattered in the past. Well, have I? Yeah, I was half shattered in the past when I lost my health when I was 20. I was like devastated, and it broke so many things that I had, and it changed my life dramatically and painfully for what I was clinging to and what I knew. That was a pretty shattering experience, to be honest. It kind of shattered my body, and wrecked. I was in mental, emotional. Oh, 1701, 177. Sorry, I'm a little bit My birthday's 7th first. Yeah, I just love these numbers. Mum was, yeah, I won't go on and on, but she passed on when she was 71, 17 years younger than she expected. And one of my first daughter's birthday was due on the 1st of the 7th, and it's the year 2017. So yeah, Steve Burns watching, brilliant. Love Steve. I'm gonna miss him if I'm ever around him a lot. Sarah says, I haven't seen Owen in years. Wow, well that's just the algorithms and censorship on Facebook, because when I share more stuff like truth that empowers, the algorithms censor people like that, and they want stuff like makeup and fitness and, like, you know, fast food and all the superficial things to be highlighted in the algorithms. That's why they do that. I'm censored in YouTube too, but I don't mind, because that doesn't get me down, and I'm not going to give my attention or worry about that. So Christina says, riding the waves of transition. You're doing amazing, brother. Honor you and love you. Thank you, Christina. You're a kick-ass, lovely person. Love you loads. I love you. I love all of yous. You got so many have tuned into this video that, like, I deeply respect and love and have added to my life. So if you take away this one thing that I say, is like, thanks for adding to my life. I'm grateful, and all of our lives are short, and I appreciate the lovely, sweet humans who have been here with me on the physical trip of physical life. It's a special thing to help people make a difference in each other's lives. Before I pass on while we're still in the physical body, because that's going to happen to every single one of us. There's no escaping death, and death isn't even the real thing. It's just the shedding of the not so real life, and then we're going to go back to the realist life, which is in spirit and our soul, our consciousness. So yeah, I better go. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this video has helped in some way. I hope you feel nice. Just maybe I've made your life a little bit nicer, just like I was saying. So many have made my life nicer, and maybe it touched you or helped you in some way. I'm looking forward to my life going forward. I really am. I've this psychic medium. The medium said there's a lot of changes happening for me, coming up for me, and the death I'm passing on my mum will hit me hard. And yeah, she sees a lot of changes. I'll keep you updated, kind of, so to speak, more or less, on my life, and you'll see it, because I'm going to be around on social media, because that's one of the ways I like to connect to people in the world, to help uplift the planet and the physical world. This is nice kombucha. Been all raw the last 2 days. Yeah, I already told you that. But yeah, my words have been a bit slurry, and my sentences have been sometimes a bit all over the place, because I'm processing and going through the grieving. Yeah, all I want to say before I go, really, is deep respect for everybody. I respect, honor and value your life, physically and spiritually. And life truly is short. I've never really had all this feelings and processing to go, but I think I've accumulated a lot of wisdom in the last 15 years, and I'm now able to process and feel this in a different way that's much more sort of learningful than had it happened 15 years ago or more, or even 5 years, whatever, any time less than now, because now's a special time in my life. A lot of huge things have happened the last few years to me, since 2017, and my new special sort of partnership also. So not new now, but yeah, deep stuff. A lot of change and growth for me. I don't know, I get the impression my soul wanted to have a lot of experiences, but positive, very positive, and very challenging too. But the very challenging makes the very positive possible, so to speak. It makes things deeper. But anyway, to be honest, I think every soul has a special experience, and every human experience is worthwhile and valuable and equal. Definitely 100% equal. Different layers, different depths to a certain degree, and other people are much more deeper than me anyway, so I just want to be I don't want anyone to think I'm saying I'm the deeper. I'm deeper. I'm not the deepest, not in the slightest bit, but I'm glad where I am. So what can you do? It's all part of the lessons of life, and one step and stage and year at a time. I'm where I am. I'm okay with that. I'm not perfect. I've got loads of things to work through, to be honest. Not as much as I did a few years ago, to be honest, by a long way. Even 3 years ago, I've got way less, because I worked through tons and tons and tons and tons of layers and mental and emotional stuff in the last few years, tons of it. Thanks to my soul contract with my current partner, which has been very deep and challenging. That's what's giving me a whole lot of stuff, information, learning, to write my new books. So yeah, I'm writing a book on stuff like shadow work, emotional healing, mental mastery. It'll all go into one book, and creating the relationship, healing your family line, ancestry, healing yourself, healing your life, healing your relationship, healing for your children too. So Ashwarya, thanks Ashwarya, I love you all, and God bless you and your family. Thank you very much. Your mum is always with you in spirit and love, and loves and and love and looking after you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel really glad about that. I feel that. I know that. All right, better go. Loads of love, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your love, and have a beautiful day. Loads of love. Thanks.